Hi, my name is Lawrence from Sensory Sumo, and I'm an occupational therapist, and I'm here to answer a question from one of our parents. And that question is, what should you do if your child or your teenager is having a tantrum because they don't want to transition from a preferred to a non-preferred activity? So tantrums happen because kids or adolescents feel like there's no choice, or they're not ready for it. So I think one of the best ways to prevent that from happening is to offer them a choice. For instance, if you want them to transition from playing to being able to clean up and do something, you could offer them a choice of what to clean up first, or offer them an opportunity of what they can do and how they want to help out. And then tip number 2 is to deliver the instructions the right way. Sometimes you want to be able to give them a directive rather than an option. For instance, will you pick up this toy, please? You could give them an instruction by saying, pick up this toy, please. So it seems like a directive rather than a choice for them if they're doing an option. So it's important for us to be able to realize how to approach the situation. Of course, it's very situational. You want to give them a choice, but you also want to be very direct with them. Tip number 3 is being able to prepare them for a transition. I always like to call this front loading them, letting them know, hey, you only have 5 minutes left to play, you only have 2 minutes left to play, you only have 1 minute left to play, and you give them clear expectations. So let them know that when the timer goes off or when 5 minutes has passed, this is we're going to start cleaning your play area, or we're going to start preparing and getting ready to go out. So it's important for them to know what the expectations are, because this would allow them to prepare mentally and to prepare themselves emotionally for that transition. Another tip is to make transition special. So you want it to be fun for them, and make sure that they know that it's special. So when you're leaving for school, if your child or your teenager doesn't want to go to school, it's important for them to know that it's a special thing. Like, hey, it's exciting. We're going to look for garbage trucks. We're going to look for buses. We're going to look for cool cars during this our drive to school. So you're making that transition special for them. You're adding incentives for them, and it's important for them to know that it's a fun experience rather than a taxing experience. Another tip is to arrange the environment. So for instance, if you're transitioning and there's a toy that they like, they perseverate, or they concentrate on that toy inside of transitioning, it's important for you to clean up the environment and make sure there's no distractions along the way so that they would be able to transition successfully. Another really important area is to make sure that you're giving them the right sensory breaks. You're giving them a good break option when they wake up in the morning. You're making sure that they're washing their face. You're giving that enough time for them to take a break, to be able to play, to be able to relax, to be able to get themselves ready for that transition. You don't want to just suddenly change that routine for them. Another important tip is to break down tasks. So if you want them to transition to go to school or to go leave the house, one of the first steps is for them to get ready and get changed. So you need to break down a task so it's not too overwhelming for them. For instance, you could ask them to put on their shoes first, and then, or put on their shirt and then put on their pants and then put on their shoes. And you give that instruction one by one, so it seems broken down and easier for them to process. And then one of the most important things is to be able to give them positive praise. Make sure that you're giving them positive reinforcement. Make sure that they know that they did a good job, and let them know that, because it would be really good to encourage that behavior, and it would go a long way. And I think the most evidence-based approach is a video modeling of transition. So if they transition well, and the best thing is to video model themselves, you want to record that transition so they see that they're able to do that, and they're able to learn from themselves. If they're not doing it yet, you could model it for them, or you can make a social story about that transition with them being in part of that social story. If you want to learn more about social stories, stay tuned to our channel, sensorysumo.com, and follow this YouTube channel, and then we'll teach you how to make a social story during different transitions. I hope that was helpful, And I hope that that would help your child or your teenager or your young adult be able to transition successfully so that they would live a full and meaningful life. This is your friendly OT from Sensor Sumo, Lawrence. I'm logging off. Thank you so much.